Hello, I'm Dr. Raymond González, Superintendent of the Westfield Public School District, and I want to talk to you about the school district operating budget for the upcoming 2023-2024 school year. For the first time in more than a decade, Westfield residents will go to the polls on Tuesday, April 25th, to vote on the school district budget. My goal in sharing this video with you is to clearly explain what is in the budget and how we got to this point. We encourage you to pause the video while viewing to more closely examine the details. I will provide a brief history of school budgets, considerations when developing a budget, our priorities for the 23-24 school year, and an overview of the proposed budget. Prior to 2010, the Westfield community voted on the annual school district operating budget with an average tax levy increase of approximately 4.9% in the previous decade. In 2011, the state of New Jersey reduced the amount of aid it provided to school districts by 65%. At that time, this resulted in the district operating budget being reduced by more than $4 million. In 2012, the state placed a 2% cap on tax levy increases for those school districts who opted out of a community vote on the budget. The Westfield Public School District was among the vast majority of districts to do so. This meant that the amount of local tax revenue used to fund the district operating budget each year for its staffing, programs, and services could not exceed 2% of the prior year's general fund, which is the chief operating fund of the school district. For the next 10 years, our district was able to stay within the 2% tax levy cap through budgeting efficiencies that included changes associated with employee health insurance and some minimal reductions in staffing and programmings. As you see in this graphic, in certain years, the district was able to exceed the 2% cap when increases in student enrollment or health insurance premiums allowed for state-approved adjustments above the cap. Last year, the unsustainability of a 2% tax levy cap finally caught up to us. 2 years of a global pandemic and the related economic disruptions to supply chains and labor markets contributed sharply to rising costs in health benefits, transportation, out-of-district tuition, supplies and equipment, and other costs. District expenditures severely outpaced sources of revenue, and we found ourselves $2.3 million over the 2% tax levy cap for the 22-23 district operating budget. So, in the absence of a public vote, in order to meet the mandated 2% cap, we were forced into the extremely difficult decision to make reductions in staffing. Additionally, during these years of this restrictive tax levy cap, the district found it difficult to develop a budget that expands our academic offerings and programs. This growth is essential if the Westfield Public School District is to continue offering the quality education that Westfield parents and residents have come to expect and our students deserve. The district begins work developing the budget a year before it will be implemented. There are many considerations, including district goals, school-based initiatives, the district's strategic plan, which includes input from the community, and federal and state mandates. The large majority of the district's operating budget is spent on salaries and benefits, with additional expenditures for out-of-district tuition, as may be required by a student's individualized education program, transportation and insurance, outside providers, including occupational and physical therapists and behaviorists, technology, maintenance, supplies, materials, and purchase services. As you will see in this slide, teachers and paraprofessionals account for more than 75% of our staffing. Now let's take a look at our sources of revenue. 92% of the district's operating budget relies on the local tax levy. We receive a certain amount of aid from the state, which varies from year to year, along with revenue derived from tuition, student activity fees, interest income, and our fund balance. As we continued to develop the operating budget for the 23-24 school year, we set the following priorities: avoid impact on our students, maintain existing programs and offerings, remain within class size and course enrollment guidelines, and begin to expand our programs and offerings. With that last priority in mind, we are proposing enhancements to our existing programs for academic support, English as a Second Language, or ESL, and school counseling. A robust academic support program maximizes the efficient use of resources to improve support for all classroom teachers while targeting interventions for students based on their needs. The district currently employs a part-time academic interventionist at the Lincoln Early Childhood Center who supports students in English Language Arts, or ELA, as the schedule allows. By making that position full-time for next year, the interventionist would be able to support additional kindergarten students. The 23-24 budget also proposes creating 2 full-time ELA interventionist positions and adding 1 full-time math interventionist at each intermediate school. Currently, we only have 3/5 of a reading interventionist at each intermediate school. Our English as a Second Language, or ESL program, is state and federally mandated and enables students to develop English language proficiency and to meet state academic standards. It also promotes cultural awareness in an environment that is comfortable and supportive. Since 2019, the number of English language learners in the Westfield Public Schools has doubled. Currently, ESL services are offered at Lincoln, Franklin, McKinley, Edison, and Westfield High School with some limitations. Rather than travel to a different school, some families have declined services because ESL is not available at their home school. We propose adding 3 full-time ESL teachers to support this mandated program across our 10 schools. This will allow for expanded instruction, ongoing training for ESL teachers, and enhanced parent engagement. As for school counseling, a comprehensive and data-driven program provides direct and indirect services for students in pre-kindergarten to grade 12 and addresses core components through guidance curriculum, responsive services, system supports, and individual planning. At pre-K to grade 5, the district currently has 5 counselors who are shared among 7 schools. Our intermediate schools each have 3 counselors with student caseloads of between 250 and 280 students each. There are 10 school counselors at the high school, each with a caseload of about 200 students. We also currently employ 1 full-time student assistance counselor, or SAC, who handles crisis and mental health cases for the entire high school. The 23-24 budget includes 2 additional full-time elementary counselors, 2 new full-time intermediate SACs, and 1 additional full-time high school SAC. These additional positions will support our students in so many ways, as you see listed on this slide. It is important to note that some of these additional counseling and academic support positions existed in prior years, but were eliminated due to budgetary constraints or special funding that expired. Here we break down the district's total proposed expenditures of $123,694,252 for 23-24, which includes staff salaries and benefits, out-of-district tuition, transportation, supplies, materials, equipment, cleaning, repairs, maintenance, and outside provider services. As previously mentioned, the local tax levy makes up the majority of the district's income. Here you could see our sources of revenue and our projections for the 23-24 school year. Now let's move on to further details of what we propose. In March, the Board of Education approved a budget that will consist of 2 questions on the ballot. Question 1 consists of our base budget and reflects both state aid and health care adjustments for a 3.95% total tax levy increase from the prior year. Question 2 consists of the expanded supports described earlier for an additional 0.89% increase. As you can see, when voters go to the polls on April 25th, the ballot questions will not include a percent. Rather, they will indicate the total dollar amounts to be raised. Again, Here is what you will be voting on in questions 1 and 2. Question 1 seeks to raise the general fund by $111,882,749. This represents a 3.95% tax levy increase that reflects state aid and tax levy cap adjustments. Question 1 includes all existing staffing and programming, along with the enhancements to the mandated ESL program. If question 1 is not approved, the base budget will go to the Town Council for consideration and possible reductions. Question 2 seeks to raise an additional $949,995 for the general fund, representing a 0.89% increase to the tax levy. This question only contains the additional staffing for the district's academic support and school counseling programs. If question 2 is not approved, these additional supports would not be added and could not be reallocated for the 23-24 school year. Provided both questions 1 and 2 are approved, what does this mean for the average Westfield taxpayer? Based on the assessed value and school tax on the average home, the estimated annual tax increase from this school year to the next would be 4.84% or $444. That's $37 per month. More than 80% of the 23-24 school district operating budget supports classroom learning, special services, athletics, the arts, and co-curricular programs for Westfield students. As previously shared, the remaining portion of the budget covers technology, transportation, maintenance, facilities, purchase services, out-of-district tuition, and debt service payments. Our students benefit from this spending in many ways, including outstanding academic instruction, programs adapted to meet varied learning styles, a dedicated focus on social and emotional well-being, a 99% high school graduation rate, 93% of graduates pursuing further education, safe and secure learning environments and facilities, an athletics program that routinely earns state, sectional, and county titles, and an award-winning visual and performing arts program. Please visit our April budget vote portal on the district and school websites, which contains extensive details and resources, along with a list of community engagement opportunities to have your questions answered. And on Tuesday, April 25th, please visit your local polling station between the hours of 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. to cast your vote on the 2023-2024 school district operating budget. Thank you.